I should have had something Blade Runner, but I had Star Wars. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the case may be. This is Nerds of the Round Table, and today I found out, I assume it happened today, because that's when I found out, Syd Mead, the designer of our future, of our present in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The man who shaped the way we see the world, most of you who have never heard of Syd Mead, has passed away. So we'll be talking a little bit about that. I'm going to go through some of his artwork so you guys will recognize how the
whole Blade Runner universe, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, it bleeds into our real world, So much of what he has done is just there's a handful of futurists in design who, I'm always telling people, be an artist. Look, everything. Look, this is designed by somebody. This is designed by somebody. This freaking bottle cap was designed by an artist. Everything you see around you was made at the hands of some sort of an artist, right? This, everything. And Syd Mead was one of the foundational futurists.
Well, without Syd Mead, we wouldn't have the Tron guy. Do you remember the Tron guy?
Yeah.
The guy that dresses up like Tron?
Yeah. In a very unfortunately tight suit. Yeah.
I've seen it, yeah.
Oh my God, the puppy. I don't feel bad.
The puppy's like, I want your nose now. Give me the nose.
Yeah,
he's hunting for boogers.
Feeling a little needy.
Well, anyways, I forgot to do introductions. To my left today, we have from Ideas of Ice and Fire, the young, the prodigal, or prodigal, Quinn.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Ideas of Ice and Fire. Check me out on my YouTube channel. And also, I have a graphic novel that's going to be launched in a few months, and you can get put on the email list. Link in the description, maybe.
Link is in the description. I did that ahead of time this time. And below us, but not beneath us, the silver-haired fox, Edwin Boyette.
Aloha. And it is, Quinn, it is good to meet you finally. I do live readings of Dune on my channel, kind of performative. I make them open source licensed, don't monetize it or anything. So I tend to point my audience over towards your channel because your summary videos are fantastic.
Thank you.
And yeah, Edwin's a regular on my channel, but I haven't had him on Nerds. But I knew he wanted to meet you, so I dragged him out.
Oh, that's so cool.
Depths of Hawaii to So I actually here, let me start another window so I can say hi to people. What's up? P Money, Model 316, terrible news, indeed. Lorenzo Sleestack, Comic Book Bob. When did Syd die? You want me to get here? We'll pop up the article. This is December 30th, 2019. Let's do the article.
Just today.
Well. Oh, he did the Star Trek movie too.
Wow. Which one? The original one? The first one?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's one with the bald chick where it's all weird.
The girl.
Yeah. I like that movie actually. I know a lot of people hate it.
Yeah. And hi everybody else. Sorry, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. We will try to pay attention to the chat tonight. And I know we've been lacking lately. Syd Mead, actually, Edwin, that's what you're here for. Read.
Syd Mead, the celebrated designer and concept artist for films like Blade Runner, Aliens, and more, has died. He was 86. According to Mead's The Hollywood Reporter, something's wrong with that sentence.
Yeah.
The cause of death was complications from lymphoma cancer. Initially reported on Facebook by those who knew him, the news of his passing was confirmed only recently by his partner and manager, Roger Cervic. The designer continued to produce work late into his life and even returned to a world he once helped define, with some work on Blade Runner 2049. According to his own biography, Mead attended Art Center College of Design, Pasadena, after graduating high school and served 3 years in the United States Army in the early 1950s. He graduated in 1959 and was hired by the Ford Motor Company's Advanced Styling Studio, but parted ways with the studio after 2 years to illustrate books and catalogs. He went on to launch his own company in 1970, providing designs and illustrations for companies like Philips Electronics. Oh, televisions. But it was only in the late 1970s that the man would really begin what he's arguably become most famous for, working on films, starting with Star Trek the Motion Picture, and then doing work designing and illustrating for Blade Runner, Tron 2010, The Year We Make Contact, Alien, Short Circuit, Johnny Mnemonic. Oh, interesting.
So 2010, the sequel to 2001. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Johnny Mnemonic, Mission Impossible 3, and more. More recently, Mead provided concept art and designs for the like of Neil Blomkamp's Elysium and Denis Villeneuve's Blade Runner 2049. If you're a fan of science fiction, there is a good chance you've seen his work. Mead also notably provided designs for the anime Turn a Gundam,
No way.
Yamato 2520.
I did not know that. That is sweet. Yeah, this guy. I'm trying to remember that there's this other guy who's responsible for like pretty much designing every medical tool that we have. That futurist, man. Future. I know it's a weird name for an artist, but it's just this rare breed of cat who can just, I don't know, design a world. A world. Yeah, I don't know.
They've been divinely inspired by muses from the future. No.
But wait, where did they get their ideas?
I don't know,
Frank
man.
Herbert.
From Syd Mead.
Perhaps.
This is the ship from Aliens 2. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Aliens, not
Yeah.
Alien.
Yeah, that's not the Nostromo.
No. Oh wait. Yeah, I
What's
don't
that?
know. I don't know what that's from, but it's freaking cool.
Looks
I don't
almost
know.
like a spice harvester from Dune. Almost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Most really good artists I know have used Syd Mead as some sort of a reference. I certainly have for stuff. When I've had to design stuff, I've certainly gone to the Mead catalog to sniff around for ideas. I mean, look at this. This is like,
That's so beautiful.
yeah.
Now, was he doing these finished illustrations himself, or was he giving the idea and then passing it off, describing something to an artist?
No, I'm pretty sure he did it himself.
Mm.
Yeah, like a lot of his style, you can absolutely tell he went to Art Center College of Design. I think they were kind of the go-to place for a lot of the car designers, and they all tend to have this sort of a style, and this is the world we're heading for right here. Everyone in their own private pod.
Well, Mike Model 316 in the chat says that Syd worked with Mobius a lot too. Now that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's an interesting pairing because Mobius, you wouldn't really think of Mobius as being a futurist, really.
No, I never really got that into Mobius personally.
He's got some really detailed art. God, what did he do? He's worked with Jodorowsky.
He did Blueberry.
Yeah.
That Western, yeah.
What was that one that he did? I don't want to say it because it could not be him.
While we're on the topic, I wonder who is doing that concept art that you see at the end of The Mandalorian.
Oh, I don't know.
Because some of that stuff is pretty
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
good. Yeah.
But I don't know when he did this, but from the looks of the car in the background, like he probably did it when this was a modern car. And like this is legitimately something you could see someone trying to design today as something of the future. It's like
Looks like something Musk will be trying to sell us in 5 years.
yeah. Elon Musk, actually there's a commentary somewhere. Oh, did I delete it? I may have deleted it. About Syd Mead commenting on that truck.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about the Inkle that Mobius did with Jodorowsky, the Inkle, which which apparently the Fifth Element ripped off heavily. That's what I hear. But the Inkle had a lot of Dune influences because not Mobius, but Jodorowsky took a lot of ideas from the Dune movie that he was going to make, and then put them into the Inkle. And Mobius was also supposed to work on the original Dune, so that's what I know him from. Yeah.
I could just stare at his stuff for hours.
It was a nice composition.
Just staring at stuff does not make it for good radio. So
No.
We will continue to stare at pictures for the next hour.
Yeah, right.
Mindlessly. Join us in our staring.
I'd love to get a date on this because, I mean, Akira much?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And Akira is like, when people think about animation, it's like Akira. That's like the height of a lot of hand-drawn animation.
It was. It's my favorite anime.
Mm-hmm. It's really good.
Yes, who Sharon Marlowe, Syd Mead. Syd Mead is the artist. Syd Mead passed away today. He was 86 years old. He was an artist, a rare breed of artist called a futurist because he just somehow, I don't know, he saw the way things could be. You know, he reminds me, have you ever read The Fountainhead?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't.
Yeah, he reminds me of Howard Rourke.
Wait, go back to that robot-y picture. Looks like some Asimov stuff almost. Like robots. Is that like a guy in a helmet or is that a robot guy?
The guy in it.
Well, he's got a beverage, so we'll assume he's a guy in a helmet.
He could be drinking oil. Robot.
Maybe he's a cyborg.
I don't know. Yeah.
I wish that was higher resolution. I have a Syd Mead book around here somewhere, but that would probably make for bad TV too.
So those were like internal ship designs where you were just showing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Freaking hell, the way this guy's head works. Yeah. So we did want to take, I mean, we're probably going to talk more about comics. Looks like Daft Punk. Yeah, where do you think? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They, people have been borrowing. I'll be nice. Borrowing.
There's so much that looks like this. Like, there's so much, that was derived from the.
Right. But a lot of this stuff was drawn in like, the 50s and the 60s. And nowadays we're just like, oh yeah, that looks like where the world is now. What is the opposite of a futurist?
I mean, with that, I don't think that's the thing because like a futurist, it's like drawing something that's never existed before.
Yeah.
And then, so
probably
drawing art from the past.
Probably someone who romanticizes the past would be the opposite of a futurist.
Someone who draws something that never existed in the past.
Maybe someone drawing.
I guess.
Someone drawing beautiful young blonde women in overalls in wheat fields. That type of pastoral scenes.
Oh, Peter Sharon said he got to meet Syd Mead back in 2003 while working for Rockstar. 2003, Peter, which Rockstar did you work? The one in San Diego, in North County? I was going to ask you if you know Ben Herrera.
Yeah, Rhaegar Targaryen says a romanticist. Yeah.
A romanticist. Rhaegar Targaryen. I like how you spelled Rhaegar, by the way. It's like Rhaegar.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yeah, a little bit bummed.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Steampunk stuff that didn't exist in the past.
Well, you get these people that can advance ideas with their imagination and just have this powerful output, and then everybody else borrows from them, and then
Yeah, just amazing, just amazing. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. Yeah, I brought it up with Quinn because we were just mentioning the other day how much we both liked Blade Runner
Blade Runner.
49.
Mhm.
Even though a bunch of people crap on that movie for some bizarre reason.
with it, the sequel is gorgeous.
That's what we're talking about. 2049.
Yeah, I mean, people crap on it because it won so many awards and it's really good. And people just want to hate on something that's like really acclaimed. People just naturally do that. They're like, I hate it. It's not as good as everyone says it is. Because they just want to be contrarians.
I think it's become more popular to be an anti-fan than a fan.
So
right?
true. Mm-hmm.
Outrage culture.
Yeah,
Yeah, at least
definitely a thing.
we didn't get outraged about Game of Thrones until until it started really sucking.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit outraged. But I felt like it started sucking before most other people did because I was just like such a huge fan of the books and just unapologetic about it. So I'm just like, I always had like a certain vision of what it should be, and then when they started diverging from it, I was like, okay, it's not as good, but it's still okay, I guess. And then it just got bad, and I was not about to pretend like it was good.
Well, yeah, I mean, the show does have its moments, though.
Yeah, it does.
Like when the Hound is sitting down in that bar. Yeah.
Oh, when the chicken scene.
Yeah. Mike,
Yeah.
Mike, you're a talker. Talkers make me thirsty, but we don't use that sort of language on the shows.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like even up until like the very end of Game of Thrones, there were some really like awesome moments that you like really can't get anywhere else.
I was already at the point. I mean, I heard George talking about, look, they're stepping on butterflies. It's going to change things. And I was like, okay, I get it. You know what? It's an alternate universe version of the story. It's not the canon of the story.
I mean,
it's the Age of Apocalypse version of the Marvel universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get it.
Until it just started really story-wise getting stupid. That's why I held off for so long.
Yeah, I mean, like George R. R. Martin started saying very, very early on, like, I don't know why they're killing this person. This person is going to have a role. And, like, he was not quiet about it from the beginning. Like, he was immediately talking about it. I remember, like way back in the day, him like talking about the character, God, what's his name? Calpono, I think, that gets killed in the show. And he's like, this character is supposed to come back. He's like, I don't know why they killed him. This is going to mess this up. And yeah, George R. R. Martin has always been like semi-vocal about stuff that he didn't like. He's never been just like outwardly like he's never outwardly said anything that was like super negative. But he's always been clear to express in some way things that he didn't like, Yeah. He's always done that.
Butterflies.
Yeah.
You know what I'd like to see, though? I'd like to see a show based around like a young Sir Barristan Selmy. That'd would be
cool.
Yeah.
That's something that's never been tapped before, too. Yeah. What was he doing? How did he get so legendary and awesome? Because the show really did that guy a disservice, too. And that actor was really upset. He's done interviews several times where he was just like, I was so upset when they killed me, because I read the books and I saw what this character was supposed to be and I saw what he's supposed to do. And he's like, they just kill him. And it's just like, they kill him in like such a disrespectful way too. It's just like, oh, that's lame.
Yeah.
What? I don't know. Yeah, but that guy, I don't know that actor's name, but yeah, I remember him saying a couple times that he was just really upset about that. And he wasn't the only one. A lot of the actors.
But he's got one of the 10, probably one of the top 10 scenes in the movie when they're in the throne room. Yeah. And they're putting them out the pasture.
Oh, yes. So good.
Even now, Quinn, I could cut through the 5 of you. Well, I guess the 2 of you. And cuts through cake.
And he's serious too, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Can you believe
he's so
you
serious.
Like this old guy is gonna.
Oh, he would. I have no doubt that Sir Barristan.
A floor full of severed limbs and heads and weeping people. Yeah.
And who was standing there too? Like Miriam Trent or somebody, like some losers, like the losers in the King Guard. I'm like, come on, you're not gonna, please. If he wanted to, he definitely could have. It would have been his last move alive, but it would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Whatever. I guess.
Anna says the actor who plays Varys was also angry. Well,
Oh yes. Oh, he was mad. He was mad. He threw the script. That's on camera. He was yes. He's reading his scene where he dies because he
crosses his arms, right?
I think he.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
He really understood Varys, and I think he knew the potential that this character had. And then just to have the character essentially kill himself in a way that Varys would never do. Like Varys goes to Jon Snow and he's like, "We gotta kill Daenerys," knowing that Jon Snow's like the most loyal person ever. You could really like Varys would never do that. Why would Varys? He's not. I get why he was sad. I don't need to get. I'm getting exasperated by how stupid it was. Why we always end up just hating on Game of Thrones?
For all the problems,
I blame Edwin. I'm gonna blame Edwin.
For all the problems, though, there were so many great scenes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I brought it up actually.
I do like the scene. I do like the scene at the end with John riding north, like that resignation and acceptance of duty. Yeah.
No, it was cool.
You know, it doesn't have that emotional payoff, but it has that, hey,
Yeah.
choices have cost.
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't want to nitpick it to death. I mean, I've already it's just like there's so much where I'm just like, oh, I could like just totally be okay with it if it was just like more cohesive, and put together. But it's so conflicting because, like you said, there are some just stuff that I just like love so much. I'm just like, this is the coolest thing ever, and I would love to be like. I would love to say to someone like, oh, go watch Game of Thrones and you'll love this show from beginning to end. But I can't say that. And it just really, really tears me up inside that I can't say that because it would be a lie because there's so much in it that's like.
It's like telling someone to watch Lost.
Lost, exactly.
Except for the last episode. Just stop one episode shy of completion and then make up your own ending. It'll be better than what they did.
Yeah. But
are you nervous about Dune then?
Somewhat, but I have a lot of I trust Denis Villeneuve as a director and as a storyteller. I've seen every one of his movies at this point. I like his style, I like what he does. From what I've read, he's been a fan of Dune pretty much his entire life. He's really passionate about it. It's a story that he's always wanted to adapt. He's really excited about it. They've got good people involved. So I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping that Denis Villeneuve, he usually delivers. So that's what I'm just saying. I know Dune is an ambitious thing.
Who's playing in Idaho?
Jason Momoa, Khal Drogo.
That'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, like I said, because
he's not the world's greatest actor, but he's got enough charisma to get past it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. So that's the thing about Duncan Idaho. In the first Dune book, he's not really that big of a character. But then the thing is, he does get cloned in every single book, and he gets brought back. So it's like, but you know what's cool about it though? I guess if they go with Jason Momoa in this movie, and then they do decide to do sequels, they could just replace the actor and like write in some the Tleilaxu have manipulated the genes a little bit. And I mean, you could write that in, and it would still be it wouldn't be exactly what the canon says, but it would still just be like, oh yeah, that's why he looks different. So you could explain that away if it wasn't working out and you needed someone with more acting chops to play him later on, because he does become he's a mentat at one time. He's he's got a lot of different.
Does Mike know what mentats are? Mike, how far along have you gotten?
I'm not that far.
Yeah. well, okay. So I explained to you in our stream earlier what the Sisterhood does and where they came from, how they arose out of when we got rid of thinking machines. And I said they weren't the only group. Another group was the Order of Mentat, and they specialize in being human computers. So they can do really fast computations in their head, and they're a lot of times used for military stuff. Like a lot of the great houses have them. Can you calculate what will happen if this happens, and the Mentat will put it in and calculate this is the most likely outcome here, basically, because they can't use real computers, so they use human computers, which apparently, according to the canon, are they've gotten to the point where mentats are more powerful now than any of the thinking machines ever were, apparently. So
Computationally, yeah.
exactly.
So it's like this incredible. One of the themes in there is like this incredible human specialization.
Yes.
And then everybody, what is the system called? The kind of feudalistic system where everybody has like a really narrow role in society. I forget what Herbert's word.
What is it called? Is there an exact word? I don't know.
Yeah, there is. It's not Canley. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but yeah,
I'm not entirely certain.
Herbert was touching on a lot of stuff. Did you convince Mike? Have you convinced Mike just how we were talking about how Syd Mead like inspired all this different stuff? How essentially like for the last 40 years, science fiction and science fiction movies have just been ripping off
constantly, even up until the newest Star Wars movie. From what people are telling me, it's just constantly getting ripped. And like even in Avengers, the newest Avengers movie, I forget which one. It's whenever the one where Doctor Strange like sees into the future. And he's like, I've seen all the past, and I've got the golden path, the one path that's our survival. And I'm like, that is such a Dune ripoff. That is so like, but yeah, it's always done. I'm always seeing like the little Dune references. Anytime I see a desert planet, I'm just like, if Sandworm comes out.
Yeah, the new movie. Yeah. Oh.
But the Jedi are essentially Mentants and Bene Gesserit, really.
Well, what was that? Who are?
The Jedi are essentially like yeah.
But they're like the Jedi literally rip off one of the most intriguing and interesting Bene Gesserit powers, which is the power of voice.
The voice.
Right. Yes. And in Dune, it's super cool. And it's like basically what it is the Bene Gesserit are so good at just like analyzing a person and seeing who you are that once they have kind of, I guess, what's the word? Once they have seen you,
registered.
Once they've registered, that's the word.
Yeah.
Once they've registered you, then they know exactly what to say to make you have a certain specific reaction. And it's kind of like, let's say you're standing and the sister says sit, you'll sit before you even think about it, because she'll use the tone of voice, the right intonation, the right word, and you'll just sit. And it's just she gets in your head like that. But then in Star Wars, it's just like magic. It's just magic. You know how to explain it.
You won't complain about Star Wars.
Yeah. I watched there's an interview with Frank Herbert where he's talking about how the voice works and how it's just really like a more just like kind of crazy version of what we already do. Like we're always manipulating people through voice. Like because he gives an example. He's right. He's like, say you're talking to someone and you know this person intimately. And he says, now just through voice, make them angry. And it's like, you could do that, but the Bene Gesserit, they can do it in a much more complicated, subtle way. You know what I mean? Without you even recognizing it. So he's just taking like ideas that kind of exist in the real world and just making them a bit more fantastical, adding in some, you know, less realistic elements, because obviously you probably never get to a state where you could control somebody on that level. I mean, maybe you could. I don't know. Maybe Frank Herbert knew something that I didn't.
It would probably, what was the CIA program where they were giving everybody
MK Ultra?
Yeah.
MK Ultra. Yeah. Yeah. They were trying to figure it out. Like, how can we do this? How can we access these Bene Gesserit powers? Yeah. You know, the sisterhood, like I was telling Mike, they're very creepy to me. Like if they, just because of, I was saying like, you would not want to be in a room with the Bene Gesserit Reverend Mother.
No.
Right. No. Because she could, you'd leave that room and like, you wouldn't know in which ways you've been manipulated. You wouldn't even know if like you're acting based on your own judgment.
That is the thing. You'd have that question always in your mind, you know, how did I just get? Yeah. And they're the best hand-to-hand fighters in the world. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You'd be like, what can I do? You'd be like, what should I do next? Well, maybe that's what she wants me to do. Well, maybe this is how she wants me to think. It would send you down some paranoia.
They're also kind of Nazi weirdos, because they're eugenicists.
Yeah,
like
but
10,000-year breeding program to produce the Kwisatz.
The Kwisatz Haderach,
Yeah. Books?
What's that?
Have you read all the books?
Yeah. I haven't read some of them in years, but I try to read Dune at least once a year.
Yeah, and like you said, they're like crazy fighters too. They have their weirding way, which is
Yeah.
like which
Until you get the honored, is it the honored matrices?
honored matres is how I
Yeah.
pronounce them.
Chapter House Dune, yeah? Is that what
Heretics, they show up. They
Oh,
show up in heretics, yeah. And they're crazy. They're like a crazier version of the Bene Gesserit, but less patient and less pragmatic, I would say.
They're all hopped up on, instead of spice, they're all like hopped up on Herbert's version of meth.
Yeah, some crazy substitute for spice that they found somewhere out in space somewhere that turns their eyes red, and they're all crazy, and they're just like dominate or be destroyed. They are crazy. They're out of their minds. And even the Bene Gesserit, they're just like, oh my God, we were not prepared for these women.
We got to get you caught up. We got to get you. The Dune universe is so good, man.
So it sounds like that is the crack version of cocaine.
Yeah. I mean, if spice is like, I don't know, if spice is LSD, then I guess like whatever they're on is like some crazy research chemical that like makes you like
bath salt.
Yeah, exactly. Is that the stuff that was making people like zombies, where they'd strip down naked and
eat people?
Like, yeah,
yeah, that was it.
That's the honored matrix.
Yeah.
W.T. Keaton says some of the world building stuff in Dune and Foundation was built on common tropes from the pulp sci-fi era, things like galactic empires, for one.
I mean,
nobody gets anything out of nothing, right? We are all. I mean, like even Syd Mead, he didn't invent the bloody wheel, right?
Oh yeah. Oh no, and Frank Herbert borrows from some historical themes and some
Lawrence of Arabia, people like to point out. But when it comes to Foundation, I mean, you don't get like a real galactic empire until Foundation. As far as like as far as like this is like there was, as far as like that level of detail that did not exist before Asimov. And then you got Frank Herbert that came in and like added a bunch of different type of stuff to it and like added all this. He just made it more bigger and crazier. But
Are we killing a bit of your soul now, Mike?
I want to read these books, and I don't care about spoilers. So, could you guys like and share, please? Share this out. Let people know we are in here.
Oh yeah.
Apparently now about Dune. So
yeah.
He talked about Sue and Lucas. I mean, it was a little.
He did.
But the early script was borderline plagiaristic.
Yeah, and there's some of it that's still in there that you can see. It's like Tatooine, planet with two moons, and then there's like the spice mines. Apparently spice actually played a much bigger role in the original Star Trek than it actually ended up doing.
Star Wars.
I mean Star Wars, not Star Trek.
Well, even the water, even mining water.
Yeah, mining water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the Kessel Run? It's spice
mm-hmm.
Right?
And then even down to like Paul and Luke. Are you kidding me? Paul and Luke, those are biblical names that go hand in hand. He literally just he went to the next name in the book and just like I'll name him Luke instead of Paul. Like, and then Paul's sister Aaliyah, hello, Princess Aaliyah, Princess Leia. I mean, and then like the twins and then the mom dying.
But talking about stepping on butterflies, like if Paul went and looked in that space and used his prescience, he would send a grain of dust adrift on the wind, and it would result in like Palpatine never being born.
So what it sounds like Lucas did. It is what what's his name from Pulp Fiction? Tarantino did with Reservoir Dogs. Right? Reservoir Dogs, he stole the plot from City on Fire. Right? And then he just wrote his own thing over it. Sounds like Lucas took Hidden Fortress and overlaid Dune on top of it.
I guess so.
Well, even laser swords, man. Even that is, well, I mean, it's a slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole idea.
Yeah, I mean, because in Star Wars you have like laser swords, and in Dune they explain the reason that they've reverted back to like kind of like sword fighting. It's because like they have this whole thing where they wear shields, and like if their Holtzman shields come into contact with like their like little laser pistols, then it creates like a nuclear reaction. So it's kind of like guns and pistols and stuff have been kind of fallen back, and now it's more like hand-to-hand swordplay because you can pierce a shield with a slow blade. But if it's just like a pistol or something, it's going to bounce right off. But like a blade can pierce it. So they've gone to hand-in-hand combat. But in Star Wars, it's for no reason. I guess it's just like pretty laser sword. I don't know. I don't know if they ever explain it. I don't know why in Star Wars they use swords. So
It is from a more gentle time or something. I can't remember what it was.
Star Wars.
Yeah, no, that just it makes me here. Nick says Mike George Lucas borrowed from various sources, including even Jack Kirby. Well, that's what I'm saying is that people are always like, well, he wrote the first one, and then the first one was really good, and blah blah blah. But he stole the plot just like Tarantino did from another movie, and then it looks like he just interlaid a bunch of ideas from someone else onto the other, onto the plot. Which, hey, like I say, good artist borrow, great artist steal. But you'll notice he handed over the writing chores over the next 2 movies to better writers, and that's why they were, well, put on top of that, his wife and the editors saved Star Wars. But then when he went back and he wrote the movies himself, all 3 of them sucked.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
And as much American Graffiti is a fun little thing, but it's not like it's Les Miserables. It's
No.
Les Miserables. I dreamed the dream in time gone by. No.
Bring in Eden. Bring in Eden. I want to hear the prisoner song. Look down. Look down. But Mike, one way to think of it though is at the beginning of the movie, Paul Atreides is Luke Skywalker, or at the beginning of the story, Paul Atreides is Luke Skywalker. At the end of the story, though, he is the Emperor, but it's not about personal desire.
Well, okay, I guess I can. You obviously know it better than I do, but Luke is a freaking knucklehead at the beginning.
Well, Paul's never a knucklehead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's already trained.
He's like hyper aware of everything.
Yeah.
But you believe that it's a straight. At the beginning of the book, you will have the tendency to believe it is a straightforward hero's tale with a young hero coming of age and having to step up, and it is, but it's not.
Frank Herbert stabs you in the chest. And he's like, psych, gotcha. But it's like so subtly done. Like you're reading the second book and you're just like, wait, this is Paul. No, why?
The hero and the villain. Yeah.
You're like, stop it, Paul. No. And there's even one part of the second book where they're like having a meeting and they're like, Paul, the people are begging for a constitution. He's like, no constitution ever. It's my way. And it's just like, Jesus. And it's like, you have to be like, I don't know. You have to choose to see it too, right? You could still read it and just be like, oh, Paul, so tragic. And you can see that tragedy too, but then also accept that Paul isn't necessarily like the hero.
If you just want to see Paul Atreides as the journey of the hero, you read Dune and you stop there. You stop there.
Because Messiah is going to mess you up, and then you come back in and you have Paul's son, Leto, and then you see exactly where Paul messed up and exactly why Paul made some of the decisions he made. Well, you begin to understand that more. It becomes more clear. But I don't want to get into Children of Doom because that's
it gets weird. Weird. But you get cool characters like the Duncan, Idaho character later on, super cool. Miles Tegg would wipe the floor with like all of the Jedi at the same time.
Dude, when he in Heretics, when he finally unlocks his like crazy Atreides genes, or whenever the Honored Matres do that to him, and like the pain awakens that like heightened human state, and he just goes crazy on them. I don't want to say what they do in retaliation, but they're crazy just because he does that. He like goes off on them and like kills a bunch of them. But, it's cool.
Well, it sounds like a very biblical character because as I was saying the other day, like I at one point wanted to do a book called Heroes and Villains of the Bible, which would be like a Marvel universe, but with the characters of the Bible. But I'm not going to say all of them, but so many of the characters in the Bible are both hero and villain in their own stories. that it's it's like heroes and the villains of the Bible. Everybody.
Yeah. We're all bad. No.
And they're all good. So it's very. I'm not going to say that. Like the way George does things, where good guys do bad things, bad guys do good things, and it's just, this world of gray. And the one man who stands up and says, "I'm going to be the White Knight," gets his head chopped off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will stand by my principles until they cost
Poor
me.
Ned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost checked out when they killed Ned. I was
Really?
like,
I think I remember my first time reading that and just being shocked and just being like, "Oh, he's not dying. I'm like, this is the main character. Like, there's something's gonna happen." I was like, "Someone's."
I
gonna pop
watched
up.
the show before I read any of the books.
Oh,
You
cool.
did?
I almost checked out, right? Because I need like an honorable protagonist. And like once they killed Ned, it's like it's bad and worse. I mean, you got this incestuous weirdness. You got Bernie face, you got the Hound, because at that point you're not fully aware from the show that the Hound is actually a pretty moral character.
Yeah, I mean, and if you compare him to someone like, I guess, Tywin, who's very much just like, I will destroy countless lives to achieve my goal, and I don't care. He's like, that's kind of like that. That's the way that Cersei is similar to her father, where it's like Tywin said, "Burn the villages, burn the farms, show them what it means to choose the wrong side." He did not care, so he's willing to destroy anything to get what he wants. I think the Hound just wants to exist and just wants to not feel pain. I'm sure he does enjoy killing. There's something about him that really does enjoy killing. That's a part of him. That's part of his darkness, a part of his demons, along with his
very fast.
So that's a part of him. But yeah, like he's not like Tywin level, like just evil.
Okay, Rhaegar says, "How did you not know Ned was going to die? It was telegraphed pretty hard." Because that was the genius of George's writing.
So you can say that now, Rhaegar.
Yeah. He set up the whole book. That was towards the end of the first book. He set it up so that everything you thought that was going to happen didn't happen. So when he telegraphed something that made you think it was going to happen, you expected it not to happen.
You know what I thought was going to happen when I first read that book? I thought that Ned was going to get sent to the wall, and then he was going to meet up with Jon, and then they were going to go beyond the wall together, and then they were going to find out what's going on with the White Walkers. That's exactly what I was thinking, because they were all like, "Oh yeah, Ned's going to get sent to the wall," and I was like, "Oh my god!" So now it's really going to get going in the next book. They're going to go north, and like Ned and Jon are going to be together, like discovering about the White Walkers. I was just going to be so, and they just kill him. It's just like,
well, they sent his bones north eventually.
Well, But that was my first time reading it, so it's like, I didn't know George R. Martin like I know him now, as far as like him as a writer. I mean, I don't know him, but you know what I mean.
And he says, "Do any of the Game of Thrones characters turn into morally good characters in the end?" I think Jon maintains a 95% lawful good.
Yeah, for sure.
What about Podrick?
He tries.
Podrick?
Podrick's innocent. Podrick he's pure innocence. Brienne, come on. Hello, Brienne.
Yeah.
Brienne. I know you don't like Brienne, do you?
No.
Mike doesn't like Brienne. Yeah,
Really?
I think I remember you saying that.
Oh, she just bores me to tears.
Yeah. I mean, I like Brienne. I like those Feast for Crows chapters.
Everyone seems like that really earnest person that believes in like all these things that people just kind of observe as a formalism and like this game that everybody plays. Like she believes it.
Yeah, being a knight really meant something to her, right? So that's why I said I was so happy they hired Brian Cogman in the show, because that was like the best episode of like season 8 as far as like actual writing. The Night of the Seven Kingdoms one. Yeah. I mean, it had the best character moments, I would say, of a really long time.
Love that scene, man.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the show after that was just set pieces. It was all just big set pieces after that, and then just filler.
But that scene made my wife tear up. She got teary eyed.
I was crying.
Yeah.
I got dunk.
But then they ruin it by having Brienne and Jamie bang, and then Jamie just leave her.
Why did they
and then crying over it? I'm just like, oh.
That and the Arya one were the no this.
Oh, yeah.
You were 12.
Yeah, no, that was not a good choice, but yeah.
No.
Things
Yeah,
I
but
want in my imagination.
Jamie, like, yeah, you're like cool and all that, Brienne, but my sister,
That's the messed up part about it. Because it's like, and then I also hate the fact that she started crying. I was like, no, why are you? I feel like it degraded her character. I was like, yeah, like the character's been lowered for me because like she's crying over a dude. It's like, and then also they did the same thing to Daenerys, right? Like in the end of Daenerys, she's like begging. I mean, she just burned a whole city to the ground. She's like, I'm gonna take over the world, and then she's crying over Jon Snow.
Did George borrow that from Star Wars, where Luke had a crush on his sister?
I mean, I think there was more of a crush going on with Cersei and Jaime.
Yeah.
It's more than a crush. The whole family. Oh.
Plexi Bertrand. Plexi Bertrand says people who are morally inflexible don't fare well in the show. I was surprised Brienne lived and didn't have anything severely life destroying happen to her. She had her maidenhood taken by a Lannister. That is life destroying.
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to Brienne in the books. I can't say because like the situation that she is in currently in the books is so different from anything they did in the show that I don't even know.
I'm just hoping she's dead.
I don't think she's
says that one word and dies. That's
no, because she shows up again. She comes against Jaime. She comes and saves Jaime, and she's like, "Come with me," and that's the last time we see her. Yeah, she finds Jaime.
Time it was like the hanging.
She's like, it's like hang them, and then she shows back up with Jaime.
She does?
Yeah, she shows back and like takes him. And he's like, "Come," doesn't she? Am I insane?
I don't recall.
Am I imagining that? Am I freaking imagining that?
Dream? Did you?
Did I have a dream that Brienne shows back up? Because I could have sworn that like Jaime sees her, and that's like the last time that like, because like I'm pretty sure the because we don't know what Lady Stoneheart exactly said to her. We know, because she's like choose the sword or the rope, and then Brienne utters one word. And I assume the word was sword, and she chose the sword because, like, Lady Stoneheart, she was like, "Go find Jaime, and like kill him," basically. So I assumed that Brienne was going to take Jaime back to the Lady Stoneheart place, and then maybe kill him, maybe not. I don't know what's going to happen after that. But yeah,
I wonder why did they forgo that in the show? Did they say
the Lady Stoneheart? Oh yes, they did say. They did say. I just put up a video about that. They hate magic. They wanted to remove as much magic from the show as possible. And they wanted to appeal to non-fantasy fans. And to quote them, they wanted to appeal to parents and professional football players. This is David and Dan, the writers and the showrunners.
Dumb and Dumber for sure.
Yeah. The same guys who HBO was like throwing millions of dollars at, like, hire some more writers, please, we beg you. And they were just like, no, we want to do it ourselves. And they complained the whole time about how much work they had to do. The entire time for 10 years straight. Oh, our workload is so heavy. And all the while, HBO was like, please hire more people. Please do it. And they were just like, no, the entire time. And they just admitted it in an interview. They gave this like hour-long interview on like a panel somewhere where they just submitted all this stuff. Like they didn't get the characters and that they have no idea why George R. R. Martin picked them. They said that they never really tried to boil down the elements of the books because they didn't really understand them. So when they were doing the show, they just really stuck to the scene by scene. So basically, when they were doing a scene, all they focused on was that scene at that particular time. So that's the reason that it seems like disjointed sometimes. It's not cohesive because they were like, "Are we going to do this?" And then see if we can smooth it out to make it fit in with this too. So it's like they really didn't care. Because if you like really pay attention to that last season, especially, there's a lot of jumping around without explaining how things get resolved. Do you remember the siege at Casterly Rock with Euron and the Unsullied? They never show us how that's resolved. They never ever show us how that's resolved. It
the
just
most
cuts.
Mad rushed battle scene of all time. It's just like, why? You know that. I was so irritated by that scene. I was like, but it felt like they were just trying to squeeze that event into the story to give like later episodes more time. It's like you literally could have done 10 episodes or 12 instead of just.
And it's like we've never even seen Castle Rock either, so it's like this is, I don't know. It was just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just like, God dang it! I just wish it could have been better. I don't know what to say.
Ray Hamilton said, "Who's Syd Mead?" He was a designer. He was an artist. He pretty much created the science fiction world that we live in now.
Yeah, but like a lot, Jay Hamilton, a lot of stuff you'd know, like stuff from the Blade Runner movie, stuff from Tron, stuff from the original Star Trek motion picture. I mean, just an amazing amount of output.
The Star Trek motion picture is beautiful. I love. I love watching it. I can see that it was like a little bit trying to be like 2001, but I don't blame it because I like the slowness of the movie. I like how it's just kind of cerebral. I feel like I'm just existing in the Star Trek world, and I just like the whole look and the style of it. It's got a super weird ending too. So,
what do you think of the current run of Star Trek, and what do you think of the current? Is it Zachary Quinto that they have playing Spock?
Oh, I don't. Is he still doing it? I think those movies are done. Like the movies, the big ones. I think they're done with those. Yeah, they ran out of money or something. I don't know, but they're not doing those. I don't think. But as far as like the shows, me and Mike were just talking about this, man. I've tried to watch Star Trek Discovery twice, and I got further last time, but like I cannot get into Star Trek. That show, like, oh my god, it's bad. I mean, I know
so much trash, and they spend so much money on it. I just don't understand how do the people in charge of making the decisions who to give money to get their freaking jobs when they are producing this kind of garbage?
I don't know, man. It's like there's a lot of confusion. I mean, okay, look, I'm a black guy, right? I'm all for having diverse characters. I said I'm black. I'm all for having diverse characters, but if you're gonna give me like a black character, don't make her this like hollow, empty, like I'm perfect and good, because that's what that girl is. Like if you're gonna like bring a person of color,
Whoopi Goldberg's character, or?
No, not Guinan. Guinan's a great character. Like the stupid main character from Star Trek Discovery, that's like a nothing Mary Sue like blank character. I hate that. Give her some depth and something interesting about her. Like, whatever. Now Whoopi Goldberg's great in Star Trek. You know, I love that character. I remember
she's not in the new one, is she?
No. But
No,
they should definitely bring her into Picard. She's like an immortal alien or something.
That's what I'm wondering, if like she's still like playing that role.
I mean, they should. She's still active. Well, why not? Be awesome.
She ran the bar, right?
She at 10-4. That's the name of the bar. 10-4.
It kind of acted like a counselor, kind of.
Yeah. It's funny though because like initially I know it was like, oh, Deanna Choi is the counselor person, and then you have Guinan come in and she's like a better counselor than Deanna ever was, and Deanna's still on the show. It's like you took my role basically. But I was watching something and they were talking about why they chose Whoopi Goldberg for that role, and it was because she was like huge in the 90s. It was like the height of her career basically at that time.
Sister Act.
Yeah.
Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Mm-hmm. And so basically she had been a fan of Star Trek forever because she loved Nichelle Nichols. She'd been watching it since she was younger. Yeah. And so she really wanted to be in Star Trek.
I met her at an airport.
Nichelle Nichols?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, she's really awesome.
For the time too, there was no face. There was no face on television that looked like Whoopi Goldberg's face. Yeah, it was just a real.
She took her eyebrows off.
Yeah, the fact that she has no eyebrows works. She's never had eyebrows. She's never had eyebrows.
But just her facial features are so distinct. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. You definitely know Whoopi's face, especially in Star Trek, because she's always wearing that like thing, and it's just like a hole where her face is, and that's all you see of it, and it's just like perfect like little round thing. It's like, yeah, I'm Guinan. I remember there's one. I forget the context of this, but there's something going on in the bar, and suddenly Guinan just pulls out this giant like gun thing. And she's like, calm down. I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, where did she get this? And why is it on the Enterprise? And like, who is that for? Like, Jesus Christ, Guinan. But yeah, she was always super interesting.
Jeez, you're right.
Do you remember the character Q from Star Trek? He shows up
Yeah.
in all three of the shows. But I remember like specifically the first time that he interacts with the character Guinan. And it's like, oh, like, he's all like, do you know what this creature is? Like how, and that's the first time that you're like, oh, like, wait, who is she? And like, how old is she? And like, what is her potential? Like, what can she do? Because he shows up and then she kind of just goes like, like she's like warding him off or something. And so they have a history that was never fully explored. Oh my God, it's Whoopi.
This is like my first introduction to Whoopi Goldberg on Michael Nesmith's television parts back in 1980.
Didn't she like used to do like a one-woman show or something like that before she got like super big, and that was how she?
Oh yeah, she's a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then she did She was part of the like Billy Crystal and all those guys did the television or comic relief.
It's insane that she ended up on Star Trek, and then she became one of like the greatest. She's one of my favorites. She's a fan favorite Star Trek character. I mean, she's not as well known as like Picard and Riker and all of them, but she's like a fan favorite character for sure.
Yeah.
Whoopee.
Whoopee.
I enjoy the episodes where she's like playing with Picard on the holodeck, where they're like doing like he'd be a detective and she'd be like his little sidekick. Those were always cool.
Gotta go back and watch Next Generation again.
So many good episodes, man.
Does it still hold up? I haven't watched it in a
Since it came
decade.
out.
I love Next Generation so much, man. You know, I this one of my favorite shows of all. Even those like really crappy like first two seasons, man, I just love it so much. So nostalgic, just like so good. I love it.
Hikaru says, "Are they done spoiling Dune?" Hikaru.
That's what I was reading.
It is by will alone I set my mind in motion. It is by the juice of Sappho that thoughts acquire speed.
Oh, they
The
go
lips
when no man.
acquire stains. The stains become a warning.
701D?
Yeah, this is the Enterprise from TNG. Yeah, he was giving this speech from the Dune movie. That is the Mentat speech. That
It is not in the book. It is not in the book, but it's a great Peter DeVries, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've also got some. I've got Data and Worf in the pop doll form over
Do you
here.
have the harmonica?
No, I wish the harmonica from
Then we would know. Be like, this dude is committed.
like isn't that like $100,000 or something? I mean, like Jesus
Is it
Christ.
really like?
I don't know how expensive it sold for like initially, but like, whoa, that William Shatner right here. Yeah.
It's
Whoa,
the
that's
Shat.
cool. That's so cool.
Eden.
That's so cool. I'm William Shatner. Oh, William Shatner, man. That man, I see. There's horror stories about him on the set of Star Trek too, about how he would like go around like if someone had more lines than him in the episode, he'd go around scratching out people's lines and stuff. Like, I got out the most lines. He was a diva. I can only imagine what it was like him working on Star Trek Generations, where him and Picard had to be in the same movie. And it's like, I'm the captain. No, I'm the captain. Like, who's the star? Like,
I'm the star.
yeah.
Get back, Baldy. Are you? Oh, brother. Are you taller than William Shatner? You know what? I don't know. I don't think so. He was sitting down on a stool. So, yeah. His voice is super distinctive as well. Yeah.
It is, man.
It is. Oh, man. We got 1 minute left. Quick, Quinn.
Yes.
Tell us why we need to sign up for the Tadia mailing list in the description now.
Sign up for Tadia if you want a cool story about witches and mythology, and that's got some horror elements and, you know, some nice twists and turns that are not predictable and unique. So yeah.
Oh, did you hit 1,000?
I am 938, so not quite 1,000.
938. So if you do sign up for the mailing list, the 1,000th signer upper, I don't know how to say that, will get a signed print of that Tadia piece from Quinn.
Yes.
So, do it.
Do it. Do it.
Unfortunately, I'm like number 5 or something. I don't know. That cover art looks cool. Yeah. I don't know. We're still trying to decide on an artist or a style. So
Did I hear that you were going to be the art director for that, Mr. Miller?
That's what I hear.
Good choice. It is a good choice.
Indeed.
Well, Quinn, I would, before we go, I'd like to have you over on my channel sometime because my audience loves comic books and they love
Anytime.
Dune. They love Dune. So,
Oh yeah, anytime, dude.
All right, I will hook you guys up in Twitter chats. Other than that, thank you everybody for being here on Nerds of the Round Table. Rest in peace, Syd Mead. Sad to see you go. I guess you won't be designing our future anymore.
He's already designed it.
You know, I've often thought about that. Like, where do we go from here? You know,
Apparently,
transhumanism.
you mean you do, yeah. What do you mean though? Do you mean like
design wise? You know, it's like how do you go past? Are we just going to retrograde back to just redesigning all of our cars from the 50s into modern versions of? You know,
apparently in the new Dune, the way they're thinking about the way they're doing the architectures, they're going with like a brutalist style. So it's like super like hard and like kind of like geometric and like it's just stark shapes. If you look at brutalist architecture, you can tell what I'm talking about. But that's the way. I don't know. Apparently, that's what's been in the.
Oh, it's
rumors I've been hearing.
It's not Caladan. I mean, it's not going to be lush.
No.
It's Dune, man. Arrakis.
Arrakis. Desert.
All right. Thanks everybody for being here. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Over Anakin! I have the high ground! You underestimate my power!